All right, let me begin with Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, but I will be speaking in English. What did this war in Gaza teach us? How much have we learned? Of course, first of all, we have learned that there is a complete failure of the international community represented by United Nations, Security Council, International Court of Justice, states around the world. There is a complete failure of represented or presented in the inability to stop the genocide in Palestine, to stop the massacres, to stop the starvation, to stop the eviction. All of this is in the face of one tiny little state called Israel, which Joe Biden named as it's a state that must exist. It's a state that Britain vowed at the beginning of the last century to create, and the League of Nations then gave a mandate to the country, which is Britain in this case, that had a mandate over Palestine to enable the creation of a homeland for the Jewish in Palestine. And when the Jewish community failed to migrate to Palestine, knowing that this is not their land, that they don't belong there, that's it's not easy to evict an entire nation and to replace them, then the Second World War came in, and in collaboration with the Nazis in Germany, the Zionist Party was able to move and to push or even evict the Jewish people from Europe into Palestine. That's history, and that's a proven history. That has nothing, you don't need to prove that anymore. But today, when the war takes place, there are so many things that came up. I was just listening to a small interview between George Galloway and Amy Martin, a US journalist and video creator or producer, where both of them they have used terms almost for the first time. One of it is the moral bankruptcy of the Western civilization. One of it is that the democracy of the government, elections, parliaments is all being tarnished because Congress people, politicians worry only about their career, their political careers. They are not there to represent the people. The people all over the world, in the Western countries as well as the rest of the world, they have been on the streets chanting, vowing, asking, requesting, using all types of requests, name it. Stop the war, stop the genocide, push the state of Israel to stop its genocide against the Palestinians, reject evictions, and you will continue to see Joe Biden and his elites always saying we are against the forceful eviction, but voluntary eviction, and of course there is nothing called voluntary eviction. Who's willing to volunteer evicting his own homeland or house? This is ridiculous. And then there are so many other terms that have been used besides moral bankruptcy, besides being absolutely unrepresentative of the people, consent, beside the countries, states are standing behind a horrible genocide. Another statement is, how could these journalists or politicians have the guts to sleep at night when they see all of those shredded bodies, children, infants, women, men, for no reason other than that the Jewish state in Palestine, the occupation state, is vowing to evict these Palestinians from their home or face death. So in a nutshell, I can come to the conclusion that this issue of democracy, freedom of speech, liberty, international courts, international justice, all of these have been nothing but slogans, empty words, have no meaning whatsoever in reality, and they are just to quell the thirst of people for at least some smell of justice, but they have failed even to do that. So today we stand in front of a world ideology that has dominated the world for so many decades under the name of democracy, under the auspices of capitalism, and within that the corporate laws, what's called corporate America or corporate West. This corporation has been enabled to control the media that we listen to, has been able to control the Congress people, the representatives of the people, in a manner that they will be more than willing to stand up against the same people who elected them or who put them in office for the sake of the banks or the corporates or the oil companies, the cartel, the lobbies that stand behind their elections. And we have seen that. And we have seen that in the UK. We have seen that in the US. We have seen that in the vetoes that they have used in the Security Council. And we have seen how this slaughter day or slaughter crimes that are existing in Gaza have revealed the fact that these organizations are nothing but a first level shield of the tyranny of the super states. But the question, is there a way out? Do people of the world have a hope? Is it possible that the entire world will ignore the fact that yet behind this wall, the creation, behind these people, there is one and only one great God who created the universe, who had sent a mirage of messengers, one after another, starting from Adam, peace be upon him, going through all the way through Noah, Ibrahim, Ismail, Ishaq, Yunus, Yusuf, Musa, Isa, and Muhammad, and sending all of these laws, all of these regulations, all of these scales in order for people to be able to live in justice. Now, what is it that prevents the humanity, the people of the world, to turn one more time? Let's see what's there. Let's see what's in these revelations, in these messages that Allah Azza wa Jal, God the Creator, had sent. Let's see. Now, of course, many people can argue that there is the Bible, the Torah, the Zabur. All of these have been altered and changed by people. So how could we trust? Well, at least you have the Quran. Quran had never been twisted, had never been changed. Continues to contain the entire message of God, the Creator, to humanity. Continues to contain the laws, the regulations by which you can achieve justice. Let's talk about that. Let's discuss that. Let's open our eyes. Let's turn back to this something called Islam. Now, of course, you can ask me, well, if you have the Islam, you are a Muslim, you believe in that, why you cannot provide justice to your own people in Gaza? Well, for the very reason that even in this Muslim world that had been dominated by the machine in the West, the capitalist machine of the West had been dominating this area, this part of the world for so many decades after the destruction of the Caliphate, the Khilafah in 1924, for the very purpose of making sure Islamic systems are not implemented and will not pose a challenge to this whole issue of democracy, capitalism, the fake ideologies that we see their results today. Today, I invite myself and everybody who listens to me to come back one more time. Let's investigate, let's see what's in there, and let's push these Muslims who believe in Islam. Come on, guys, bring your system back into the world. Stand up for your own deen, for your own religion, for your own ideology. The world needs Islam. The world needs your Islam. The world needs the Islam that Allah sent to you. Don't give it up. Don't give it up. The world is crying. They want us to come back. They want Muslims to come back, and we will find the entire support from all the world community, the decent community, the ones who are demonstrating day and night, every day of the week, every time, in every corner of this world. There is yet one more demonstration that's demonstrating against the atrocities that are committed in the name of capitalism, in the name of democracy, in the name of occupation, in the name of what have you. And all of this have morally failed, ideologically failed. So the world need us today. They need me. They need everyone who knows what Islam is about. Bring your Islam back and we will accept it. That I guarantee. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for listening.